How did PSG finally win the Champions League? Well, it wasn't an easy journey, but they made it look easy with their $110 million war chest. Just kidding. It actually took them 50 years to win the Champions League. And it wasn't just about money, although they did spend a lot of that. In 2011, PSG were taken over by a Qatari consortium, and they immediately began spending big, but not necessarily smart. Over the next few years, they bought a whole bunch of expensive players who didn't really make a difference. The likes of Javier Pastore, Edison Cavani, and David Beckham all had moments, but they didn't really bring the club any success. To be fair, though, this is partly because they were playing in a team full of superstars. But then something clicked. Maybe it was the arrival of a certain someone, or maybe it was just time for the new generation to take over. Either way, PSG started to get smart with their spending. They still spent big, but they started targeting young, up-and-coming players with huge resale value. The likes of Kylian Mbappe, Philippe Coutinho, and Neymar Jr. This meant that PSG went from a team full of superstars to a team full of future superstars. And while this meant that they were probably going to be very successful in the coming years, it also meant that they wouldn't be winning the Champions League anytime soon. After all, they had to get rid of some big names to make room for these new signings. And when you're getting rid of big names, those big names want to leave. Slowly but surely, PSG started to get better and better. They won 7 league titles in a row and reached 3 Champions League finals, but they couldn't quite get over the line. In 2020, they lost to Bayern Munich, and in 2021, they lost to Chelsea. But in 2022, they got their revenge by beating Bayern in the quarterfinals and then destroying AS Roma in the semifinals. Unfortunately, they couldn't beat Real Madrid in the final, but at least they finally made it to the promised land. And that's how PSG finally won the Champions League.